Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie, and if you're new here, hello and welcome. I hope you'll consider subscribing if you enjoyed today's video, and if you're back, of course, welcome back. Quick drink of water because I did not do that before we started. And a quick disclaimer right up front. You will almost certainly hear all kinds of background noise in this video tonight because it is the 4th of July. It is in the evening because I film when my kids go to bed, and that means fireworks. So I do apologize if there's any sudden startling background noise, but just want to give that disclaimer up front. If there's anything really egregious, I'll try to come back and edit it out. So happy 4th of July to my fellow Americans. And tonight we're sitting down to do a WIP and Chat. WIP stands for work in progress, and chat, well, chat. So feel free to pull out whatever project it is that you're working on, whether it's crafting related or otherwise, and let's chat and catch up a bit. So I hope you're doing really, really well. Let me give you all of the quick info about what I'm working on tonight. I am working on the absolutely beautiful Pride from Diamond Art Club, and it's licensed from the artist JoJo's Arts. Here's the original artwork if you're curious. And I'm working on this as part of it's my contribution rather, to the Punked Out Diamonds event with Knox over at Punked Out Diamonds, Punks and Crafts, and also the Fun Never Ends Diamond Paint Along with Rachel Ray and Miss Crochet and Coffee. And of course in honor of Pride Month as well, which has ended, but I started it during Pride Month. For pens, well, other stuff that I'm using, this is my newest pen. This is from Black Wolf Woodworks, and this is one of their newer releases, and I just could not resist. I'm a sucker for a good hybrid that's like asymmetrical like this, and I love the sort of, it looks like space. I love it so much. I'm using a skinny metal multi-placer on the end from the Sleepy Cat store on AliExpress. This is one of the rainbow gradient trays from Munimade. And tonight I'm gonna clean this out because I haven't used patty wax in a really long time, and I just got a little box of samples in the mail from their shop recently, and I'm itching to try out one of these scents. So I actually filmed an unboxing with some Happy Mail and small business goodies that I think I'll put that up later this week, but one of the things that I picked up was this tin of samples from Patty Wax, which she does these from time to time, and quite frankly, I have more than enough full-size Patty Wax bricks to last me a lifetime, and so I thought, well, I'll get the sample set and then I can sort of enjoy trying out some new scents. I almost said flavors. I always do that. They're not flavors. Don't eat them, Matt. There's a story there I'll tell sometime. Anyway, so I can try out some new try out some new scents without buying an entire new brick. So this is the one that I was most tempted to buy the full-size brick of earlier, like when I saw it come up, and it is Honey Vanilla Love Dust. It smells like honey and vanilla. I don't know what love dust smells like. We're not going there that early in the WIP and Chat. Don't answer that question. Okay. So let's get started. Before I go too much further down the rabbit hole. I hope you're doing really well tonight. I am doing much better. I'll get into that more in a bit, but I just realized I also want to tell you guys something fun I'm doing with this kit. So I did. In my last WIP and Chat, I mentioned that I was looking at doing some swaps because I felt like this kit needed way more in the way of ABs. And now that I'm getting to the part with the actual rainbow gradients to them, in her hair, and then over here at her artist palette, I did get in a bunch of ABs. They're literally all here from DP with Sparklers, and have been, I've been swapping out in her hair, not a full swap. I've just been adding highlights to make it kind of subtle. But I'm planning on doing, I think, a full swap when I get to the artist palette and the colors that are coming off of it. So I have already done the palette itself and I've swapped out the paint on it for ABs, and I think I want to do these like smoke colors coming off of it in ABs as well. I'm really happy with how it's turning out so far, and I'll be sure to talk about what my processes look like. I think I'll do a post review on this kit so I can go into more detail on that. I am debating if I'm going to want to rechart her face at all, because if you look at the original artwork, I'll put it in the same angle. Her face looks, I don't even know how to do a comparison. Her face, like her chin and her face just look a little bit softer, and there's something about how it's been charted here that it just feels a tiny bit harsh to me. So I feel like maybe I'll just try to, I don't know. I'm going to see what it looks like when it has drills on, and we'll go from there. Let me grab a color and we'll get started. So, oh my goodness, there's that firework again. I feel like I want to start off by, I guess, sort of like acknowledging and explaining, not that you guys are demanding an explanation, but I have been a bit MIA for on and off for the past week, especially, really for the past like month in particular. This past week was really difficult though. I just have had a lot going on in my personal life that I'm not going to go into detail here, just for sake of, you know, my own privacy. But that just, you know, I've wanted to make sure I'm dedicating the time that I need to and that I want to, you know, my family. Thankfully, things have turned up in the past few days, and I'm grateful for that. And but I am going to be playing just a little bit of catch up. So please bear with me. But I know I'm very, very, very behind on comments. I know it's been nearly a week. I mean, it was last Wednesday is when I put up my last video. And I just have been kind of absent on Instagram. And I apologize if you're one of those people I've left hanging. I appreciate you very much, and I hope that you'll understand that just mental health is going to come first. My family is going to come first. So, but I am back with tonight's WIP and Chat. So, that being said, there are just a number of things that are going to be delayed for the time being, and I promise that it's just a temporary delay. So I had initially intended on starting my series of 5,000 subscriber giveaways in this WIP and Chat, because I wanted to do them through the month of July, and that is going to be delayed till hopefully next week. I'll be able to start those. Along with that, like I said, I'm very behind on responding to comments and messages and emails. My hope is to get caught up on those a bit more in the coming week. And I've still like kind of kept the Josephine Wall kits on hold. There's something that's been really soothing and enjoyable for me about working on round drills, and the colors in this kit are just lovely. So I've just been going with what I'm in the mood to work on, and I've just been all about this kit. It's so beautiful, and just it brings me so much joy. I had intended to put up my sort of bonus Summer with the Masters video this past weekend to have more info about a kit that I had. Oh, it was a post review. It was a post review of Miranda the Tempest, and in there I also drew my winner for the week 8 official Summer with the Masters series. So I'm hoping to have that up later this week, but it might not go up till Saturday. We'll see. I want to put ABs like in here. She has a heart-shaped rainbow earring, and it's so pretty in the original artwork here that I want to make those ABs, and that should be a really easy swap. So let me grab those. I forget. Yeah, let's do, there's like red, yellow, and blue. This will be really pretty. So anyway, all this to say, well, and I haven't gone live recently, which is completely fine, but you know, I'll bear with me. It's summer. Life has been a little nutty and all that. So, yeah, just stay tuned. And I hope you guys are having a really wonderful summer so far. If it is summer where you live, if it is winter where you live, I'm a little bit jealous. It has been just hot here. Now, thankfully, I'm in Southern California. The weather has been pretty mild compared to a lot of other areas in the US. And if you are one of those that's been, and not just the US, Canada as well, and other countries as well too, but if you're one of those people that has been affected by this extreme weather, I am so sorry, and I'm very much thinking of you and hope that you get some relief soon and that you're able to stay safe and healthy. Let's see, 334. Was there an exact match for 334? Or was that 9? No, I just swapped. So for these ABs, so not every DMC color is available as an exact match for an AB. And so the times that that there wasn't, and I had to pick something that was close enough, I think there are websites that will tell you that you can do a comparison. You could put in like, what's the closest, what are similar DMCs to this one? But I just eyeballed it. I was anxious to get that ordering because I was working so much. That looks pretty, I think. I was working so much and going so hard on this kit. I was like, I gotta get these ABs ordered because otherwise I'm gonna get to this part of the kit and not have these ABs. And sure enough, I just got these in a couple of days ago and I've been using them, so. More water. Ooh, before I forget, please commiserate with me and also tell me what to do. So remember that beautiful C'est Plus Beau à Tour pen that I was using in last week's WIP and Chat? Mica happened. This has never happened before. I've never had a pen break, and certainly not into their firework. 3 different pieces. It broke along the cinnamon. This is one of those ones that smells like cinnamon, but it broke right along the cinnamon lines there, and you could see that's where it broke on here. I don't know if I super glue it or Gorilla Glue it or whatever, if it'll hold, but I am so sad. This is my first and my only cinnamon pen from them, and I'm so sad. So if you have any tips or tricks for how I can repair that and make it usable, especially if I just use it really carefully, please let me know because I'm really sad about that right now. So kind of going back to what's been going on in personal life land, I had my first individual talk therapy appointment, firework, on Friday. And that was a particularly bad morning for me. And basically as soon as my brand new therapist to me started the Zoom call or whatever, I just immediately burst into tears. And I think it's a sign that she's going to be a good fit because she was very empathetic and, asked, I felt were the right questions. It was an intake appointment. So it was a lot of her just asking questions and getting a sense for who I am and what I'm going through in life and sort of starting there so that she can help map out goals. And we can map out goals together. But I thought it went really well. I'm optimistic that it's going to be a good fit. And I like that the convenience of it being virtual is so nice. I think there's a lot of value to being in person, but firework. Given the circumstances that, the world is in, and even just the life stage that I'm in where, my schedule is a little hectic running around keeping up with the kiddos and their various school schedules and activities. Oh my gosh, that's right outside our door, it sounds like. It's convenient for this to be virtual because I can just go upstairs, hop on the thing, and then come right back down and take care of the kids. So I am grateful that I finally was able to get the ball rolling with that. And I was really, I talked about this in my last WIP and Chat because I mentioned to you guys, I'm really proud of myself. Like, I'm happy that I've finally been able to take this step, because if you've struggled with anxiety or depression, then you probably understand all too well the idea of even something that seems as simple as a phone call and going through the various steps of getting into therapy. That is like massively overwhelming when you struggle with anxiety or depression. There's something that relates to, like, it's kind of like an executive dysfunction sort of thing, where even the smallest tasks feel absolutely overwhelming and insurmountable. And no matter how much you tell yourself, like, just get it together and do the thing, it's not that hard. Like, no, it's impossible. And I feel like the way that our healthcare system is set up here, at least, they don't make it easy. It's a whole process. You know, you might have the kind of insurance where you have to get authorization from your primary care physician to even see a mental health specialist or a therapist, because they're considered a specialist, and therefore your primary has to sign off on it, which means making an appointment with them, going to the appointment with them, et cetera, et cetera. Our insurance right now does not require that. We've had that kind of insurance in the past. It is a huge pain. Then there's the step of just finding someone that is in network that your insurance accepts. And then once you have that, there's actually calling and going through the whole initial phone intake process, where they're collecting all of your information and trying to find a time that works for you, that they have availability for. And then there's actually showing up at the appointment. And then there's, hopefully this therapist is a good fit for me. Because if they're not, and frequently they're not, and that's not a bad thing, it's not uncommon, then you have to start most of this process all over again. What is happening outside? Oh my gosh. I will have to listen back and see how distracting this is. And I do apologize if this is just driving you or your pets absolutely crazy. Anyway, so can you understand now why just that whole process is really intimidating and actually not terribly friendly to people that are already struggling with their mental health? So that's why it took so long for me to get to this point. And I talked about it in my last WIP and Chat, and I was annoyed and frustrated and a little bit hurt when I saw someone had left a comment that said something like, I don't understand you, how you could, spend money on diamond painting kits, but not, but not be willing to spend that on your mental health, like in therapy. And I just wanted to chuck my phone. And I thought, that just entirely misses the point and is incredibly unhelpful. Like, there was no need to have said that, because it's not just about the cost. It's about everything that I just described to you, like the mental cost, the spoons, if you will. If you aren't familiar with mental health in general, and I know I've mentioned this on my channel, so I am sorry if you are hearing me repeat myself, but there's this whole concept that I actually really like that's called spoon theory. The idea is that you wake up in the morning and you have a certain amount of spoons to get you through the day. And there are things you can do that can recharge your spoons. There are things that take a certain number of spoons, and each task in a given day takes a certain number of spoons for you. So if I start out the day with 10 spoons and it's a rough day for me, getting dressed and taking a shower might take 3 spoons. That means I only have 7 spoons to get through the rest of the day. Making the phone call to set up an appointment for therapy might take all 10 of my spoons for the day. Like, who knows? And different days you have different amounts of spoons. And the idea is that like you have a finite amount of mental energy to get you through the day and to complete the tasks you need to complete during the day. And this is something that I think a lot of people with chronic illness and mental health struggles can very strongly relate to, and I certainly do. You hear me talk about all the time the idea of mental margin, mental capacity, those sorts of things, and that's absolutely what was at play here. It wasn't just the cost was a factor. Also, that aside, diamond painting is its own form of therapy for me. It's very calming and helps me decompress at the end of my day. And there's something about being busy with your hands. And I know other people have described feeling this same way. It's like when your hands are occupied with something that's very structured and mindless, for lack of a better word, it frees up your mind to just sort of process the day, process through like emotions you may be feeling, and it's decompression. It helps, for me, it really does help regulate my anxiety. It doesn't obviously like do the trick for me. Like I need more to it than that, but like it's not fair to say that like diamond painting is not contributing to helping my mental health. So I was really frustrated and upset when I saw that comic. 'Cause it just felt like you've missed the point, and that was just anyway. I try not to get into, I generally as a rule don't get into getting upset or talking about here comments that have been unhelpful or that I've been upset by. But today's not that day. It is what it is. Anyway, so that happened. But all this to say, I'm glad that I felt like I was able to get into therapy, and I hope it continues to go well. I'm a huge advocate for therapy. I am one of those people that, like, even though I wasn't practicing what I preach, like, I would very happily tell people, I think that, like, really everyone could be in therapy. Like, we all have things that we could use to process with a professional, and things to just work through and get people to like vent, and also just get advice and perspective and tools for how we can be like better people and more, I don't know, functional people. I say that like with not with any insensitivity whatsoever. I think therapy is fantastic, and I'm glad that I'm taking my own advice. What else has been going on this week? So I was supposed to have a Diamond Art Club sneak peek to share with you guys last week, but they had some major shipping delays with their warehouse, and they were just super slammed at their warehouse. And so I even saw them comment on someone's post in the Diamond Art Club VIP group that they had such significant delays that literally only one of the people that had a sneak peek to share got theirs, and so all the rest of us did not. So that'll be going up belatedly this week, and I just got a shipping notification for that, I think this morning. And so hopefully I'll have that. I think it's projected to show up Wednesday. So I think that the kit that I'm getting as a sneak peek is still even in stock on the website. So hopefully, if nothing else, even though it's not technically a sneak peek, I suppose, hopefully it'll still maybe help people make a decision, like if they want to pick up that kit, since I do think it's still in stock. So stay tuned for that. I also really want to put together my June month in review video. That's just gonna have to go up late because it just, like I've said ad nauseum, it's been a really rough few weeks, and particularly this last week, and so I haven't had the chance to film the way that I've wanted to, which is completely fine, but I really like doing those month in review videos, and hope that I can get that filmed soon and up for you guys later this week. I also also, for the first time in quite a while, I filmed my husband's dropping things over there. I filmed I don't know what I'm going to call it yet. I think like a shopping haul or something like that. That's a combination of goodies that I had gotten in from various small shops and a couple things that I picked up from Joann's. And I just thought I have enough here. I think it would be fun to unbox it with all of you. And that included like my giant AB order from DP with Sparklers and some pens. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to call that one, because the various creators on YouTube have their different names for their, there's like Mail Haul Monday, there's, some people will incorporate like small business into the title or whatnot. And so I just want to figure out what I want to call mine. So that'll go up soon. I hope that you guys will enjoy seeing those goodies. And I would be curious, do you like videos with small business, fun finds, and, others just sort of haul videos, I suppose? I feel like you either love them or you just could not care less. You're completely ambivalent and don't even watch, and that's completely fine. But I'm always curious to see, because I never know how those videos are gonna do. I never know if you guys are gonna be into them or not, but which is fine. I don't do all of my videos just based on, the views I think they're gonna get, but I want to also share things that you guys want to see, but I thought we mix it up this week. So things that are happening at home. The boys, Connor and Micah, started summer school this past week, or extended school year. I did have my sweet friend Jacqueline explain the difference to me. And what they are in is extended school year. It has to do with, the purpose of this is to bridge the gap between the official, spring and fall school year. So they don't fall behind in their IEP goals and services and whatnot. So the more you know. It's been a little, man, I feel like I've just spent a lot of time in the car because of the schedules, and seeing it in practice this week was a little tiring. So their school schedules are staggered by an hour, which means that I drop one off at 8, come home, drop the other off at 9, come home, pick one up at noon or 12:30, come home, pick up the other one at 1:30, come home. I don't even know if those are the right times. So anyway, so Adam has been doing the first drop off of the morning, and I just do the second one. But then the afternoon pickups are just, I want to make sure I'm putting these down on the right symbols, because I think I mixed up the plus and the H. No, I think we're good. Are we good down here too? Okay. It's just a lot of time in the car. But I think we might try to shift it. I think Adam might start trying to go to the gym on his lunch break for work, and then pick up one of the kiddos, so that we're just sort of tag teaming all of that driving, all that back and forth. We didn't really want to sign them up for the bus, even though they qualified for it because of where we live relative to the schools. Just because COVID is still a thing, as much as lots of people want to pretend like it's not. And we just wanted to play it safe. As much of an inconvenience, and as much as I whine about their schedule and the amount of driving it has me doing, I still am perfectly happy to do that in the interest of keeping them safe, doing our part to stop any spread that might happen with kiddos. But it's been going well. I almost thought that I lost Connor after school one day. And I will just say that summer school, extended school year, has just felt a little bit less organized than the regular school year. And so it just has felt a little haphazard, drop-offs and pickups and whatnot. And so I go to pick up Connor from school, and I'm right at pickup time. Like I'm not early because I've seen like the crazy crowds that show up early. And I go up to the pickup gate and I'm kind of waiting. It was the second day of school. And I was like, this is where I picked him up yesterday. And they just kind of like held the kids at the gate. And then when they saw their parents, they'd let them go. So I'm standing there and kind of waiting and waiting and waiting. And I'm looking and I'm like, I think I'm one of the only parents left waiting here. And I don't see any more kids. What's going on? And so I approached the teacher standing at the gate and said, hi, I am looking for Connor, last name. And I said, I don't seem to see him anywhere. Do you know if his class has been dismissed yet? Like, did they get, are they late today or something? And she said, oh, let me go check. What's his teacher's name? And I told her. And she goes over and I see her talking to like a couple of teachers and I hear her say like, I don't know who this person is, as in like the name of the teacher. Like, do you know like where they are, blah, blah, blah. And I see them kind of milling around and looking and they, one of them comes back to tell me, they're like, oh yeah, we'll help you right out. And then I see them talking still, and then I see them looking around. I see one of them point over towards like the buses and my heart starts to pound and everything is fine, by the way. Like, obviously everything is completely fine or I wouldn't be telling this story. And so I start to get a little bit nervous, and then I hear that the teachers are coming closer and talking to each other as they're coming back to me, I guess, to update me. And I hear one say to the other, like, or call over to, I don't know, the bus driver person with the radio and say, I think we had another kid get on the bus accidentally that wasn't supposed to. And my head about whips around and I go, I'm sorry, you had more than one child get on a bus incorrectly? Like, this tells me you have a flaw in your system. Like, what? My child is on a bus? What? And so I start freaking out. And so then I start doing the thing where I turn around and start like scoping out the area and trying to figure out like, what do I do? Like, should I see some buses pulling out of the parking lot. Should I run over and try to flag them down? Blah, blah, blah. Looking around frantically. And then I glance over to a bench off to the side where there's a couple of teachers sitting, teachers and or aides sitting, and a kid in a mask, which, yeah, the kids are still wearing masks at school. And then I happen to look and see a very familiar backpack. And I take a closer look at the kid wearing the mask who's just sitting on the bench, swinging his feet. And I was like, Connor? And he turns and looks at me, he's like, hey, Mom, I was waiting for you. And I just was like, oh my gosh. Like, I basically walked right past them to go up to the gate to pick Connor up. They must have, well, I know that they did. They walked out because the gate, like, it just gets so crowded and crazy there that they had decided that they weren't just gonna wait there and clog up the space and that they were just gonna take Connor over to this bench that was really just slightly off to the side from the sidewalk that I walked up to get to the gate. The teachers there just like, they apologized, and, I let the other teachers know that we're inside the gate. I was like, I found him. He's right here. He's not on a bus. But the teachers felt bad, and I said, no, don't feel bad. I basically walked right past you guys and just had tunnel vision. Like, I didn't even stop to think. And I think part of it is with the kids wearing masks, like, I have to look a little bit closer to recognize them, it didn't catch my eye immediately that might be Connor when I was just walking by. Anyway, everything is fine. I still don't want to ever have a repeat of that again, and my heart pounding. Like, what if someone stole him? Like, I just immediately jumped to worst case scenario. I thought best case scenario is he accidentally got put on a bus because at least he's like safe. So that was all fine. Connor was none the wiser. He just thought it was cool. He got to hang out with his teachers for a few extra minutes on this bench. And then there was a whole thing where, like, I understand now why when I said his teacher's name, when the teacher at the gate asked, like, oh, who's Connor's teacher? And I told her, and she kind of looked confused. I realized it's because that's not actually who ended up being Connor's teacher this year. They had a lot of last minute changes, and that person is not Connor's teacher. I don't think that person is even doing summer school. So I just felt really silly where I was like, I've been saying Connor's teacher's name wrong for like 4 days now, because I didn't even find that out until Friday, when that teacher had, like, his actual teacher had sent a note home, like, with the whole little, like, welcome bit and all of that, and then signed it. And then I saw the name. I was like, that is definitely not who Connor's initial paperwork said his teacher was going to be this summer. It's really not a big deal, but I just felt really silly and had a moment of, like, okay, schools, like, I am not used to this level of, like, disorganization from our school district, but I think maybe just extended school year stuff just, it just works a little bit differently, and I'm sure all the teachers are super exhausted after a school year with, like, lots of remote teaching, lots of hybrid model learning, which is worse, I feel like, for them, and it's just, they've been going nonstop. Like, I don't blame them that they get to summer break and they just, like, no, they don't have as much energy and time to give, but you guys got to communicate with me about what my kid is doing and where they're supposed to be. So I've had a kind of a similar experience with Micah, actually, in his school, because they are at 2 different schools, but it's all working out. It's fine. So that was the first week of summer school, extended school year. It went well, and I enjoyed having a little bit of my mornings back to myself, and I get to be just a little bit more productive that way, I think. What else happened? Sorry, my train of thought just left the station. My parents left on Wednesday. We had a really, really nice visit with them. It was very relaxed and enjoyable, and the kids really loved hanging out with them. I know I told you guys a little bit about that in last week's WIP and Chat, but they left this past week, and Adam's parents get in Wednesday this week, and they are renting a beach house down in Laguna. So we'll spend lots of time with them and on the beach, and I'm hoping, we're planning to ask them to watch The Boys so that Adam and I can go on a date or two. I really, really, really want to see Black Widow this weekend when it comes out. I am next level obsessed with, like, the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and so I'm really excited for that movie. I hope that I hope it does well. I hope it's a good movie, because it's been such a long time coming, and I am a sucker for, like, a strong female lead. I hope it's good. I love it. I am also loving, speaking of MCU, I am loving Loki. Loving it. He's probably one of my favorite characters in the MCU, and so I've been excited about this TV show since Disney Plus announced that Loki would be getting a TV show on their service, and I'm loving it. Loving it. Side note, any of you find, I don't know, I've had a couple of friends on this already that have sent me a couple. I'm not ignoring you, I promise, but the more the merrier. If you happen to come across a Loki themed cover minder on, like, Etsy or in another small shop, please send me the link so I can buy it. I need a Loki themed cover minder, but it gets a little dicey when you're trying to find like stuff like that on Etsy. I don't know why. Anyway, just let me know if you come across one, please. So yeah, I'd be curious to hear, are any of you watching any of the Disney Plus Marvel shows? Are you liking them? We've liked them a lot for various different reasons, but, like, we're nerds. We love all things nerd culture, really. Yeah, so hopefully Adam and I will get to see Black Widow this weekend for opening weekend. I think most of the theaters out here are still have implementing social distancing in the theaters themselves, with, like, how they have people spread out. And Adam and I haven't been to a movie together in... Was it before COVID? I can't remember if we went to one together at one point earlier in the year. It might have been before COVID. So it's been a long time. And that's like, Adam and I are both such movie buffs. I mean, I've mentioned before, like, Adam does a lot in the way of like screenwriting and directing, and wow, that was a loud one, firework. And so, like, of course we're movie people. Adam is basically like a walking IMDb, and I love it. So it's been a bummer to not be able to go to like movies in a movie theater. We were actually nervous that with COVID and how much that hurt that industry, that we thought that that movie theaters just might sort of go out of style. There was one we really, really liked going to that was just always a really fun experience up in LA, called the ArcLight, and that sadly, like, that closed completely. Gosh, that's such a bummer. Okay, I had to make sure that was a firework and not one of my kids crying. They're somehow, like, sleeping. I mean, they sleep with little white noise machines, but still, like, I am surprised that we haven't heard a peep from them in spite of the kind of constant stream of fireworks here. But, so yeah, we'll be spending a lot of time at the beach, hopefully getting a date night or two away. That landed in the wrong spot, and I need this. What else is going on? And then we're looking ahead a little bit to next month. We're doing Disney World, and that I'm nervous about that. I need to really work with Micah on wearing a mask. Connor's great about wearing a mask. Micah, like, don't make me laugh. I think because Micah has not been inside of a store in forever. I think maybe I'll try sort of linking it to that idea with him, to be like, look, like, okay, we're doing this new thing that you haven't done in a long time. We're actually going to go inside a store, and then make it about, like, but to go inside the store, we need to wear masks so that we can be safe. And I'm hoping if I can sort of link it to that'll maybe be the bridge to getting him to wear a mask. Like, really, we're building up to him wearing a mask on the airplane. I think there's a possibility that mandate is going to be lifted, but I don't really want to take risks. And quite frankly, I feel like I'm at a place where I fully appreciate how much wearing a mask in public has helped me stay healthy, like not get sick. And so part of me is like, I feel like I'm going to want to wear a mask anytime I go on an airplane now, because that's, you're sharing a close space with a lot of strangers that you don't know what their personal hygiene is like, or often even if they're sick or not, or, contagious. So part of me is like, maybe I'll just always wear a mask on an airplane. I don't know. All this to say, we just really want this to not be like a sticking point. We don't want to literally not be able to go because Micah won't wear a mask. So we really want to work on that. And I'm going to talk to his teacher as well and be like, can you help us tag team this at school, please? Because I don't want that to affect our ability to go to Disney World. I don't think Disney World itself, I'll have to look into it. I don't remember what their requirements are on masks right now. And really, like, we don't go for over a month. And so much can change in a month, between now and then. So we'll see. But I'm excited to get to do that. We're going with Adam's family, and it'll be kind of a whirlwind trip, but I think it will be a lot of fun. I think Connor especially will have a blast, especially with his cousin, because we'll get to see my sister-in-law and her kids, and Connor and his cousin that they're the closest in age, her oldest, they get along so well. It's so sweet. I love it. But what is summer looking like for you? Are you making any, plans. I know it seems like a lot of people, particularly in the United States, are feeling like COVID isn't a thing anymore, and so they're sort of just kind of out doing whatever. And like, we didn't make we didn't plan this trip lightly at all, and we're going to be taking all kinds of precautions. But I'm curious to hear like what the summer is looking like for you. Are you taking a chance to sort of get a little bit of lost time back as far as vacations go, or are you still in a place where you're just staying hunkered down? And that's either way is fine. Like, you make the decisions you need to for you and your family. I'm not judging you or trying to say anything. I just was curious what your summer plans look like. Tomorrow, well, that's today when you guys are seeing it. So Monday, July 5th, today, the kids do not have school, and Adam does not have work because it's sort of the observation of the 4th of July here. Since the 4th of July fell on a Sunday, they're like, well, it's still a holiday, so we're just going to observe it on Monday. So you get that time off. So we'll have some time together tomorrow. I just saw a firework. Please don't set my roof on fire. I think we're going to try to get together with a couple of friends and their little one and let the kids play and just chat and hang out. We're all fully vaccinated at this point, so we feel safe about gathering. But yeah, we didn't take the kids to fireworks or anything tonight, and that's for a couple of reasons. One, it gets really dicey out there. I think we just maybe didn't quite feel ready for that level of exposure at this stage. And along with that, I think Connor's really not a huge fan of loud noises. He likes the idea of fireworks, and he actually asked to go to fireworks, and I meant to pull up a video to show him instead, and I forgot until bedtime, and I was like, I promise we'll watch tomorrow. But he initially brought up like going to see fireworks, and I was trying to explain to him, like, buddy, you know how you really don't like loud noises, like you get upset, like you don't like being close to like the vacuum when it's on, and if Micah is playing with something too loud, that you don't really like it. And I said, fireworks are really loud, buddy. Like, they look really cool, but they're super loud. And so I didn't want to set us up, like, I didn't want to go through all of this headache and to get to a place where we could watch fireworks, because oh my gosh, it's so hectic out there this year with that. I didn't want to go to all that trouble just to like the first firework to go off and Connor to be really upset. I could have gotten maybe some noise canceling headphones, and in retrospect, I kind of wish I would have done that. Maybe next year, if we decide to take them. But the other reason I didn't want to take them is because like Micah doesn't sit still for love or money. He's all over the place, so I didn't really want to try to take him out and then corral him like for fireworks, and I don't know how Micah would respond to the loudness of fireworks either. So yeah, so all that to say, we didn't do any fireworks this year. Hopefully we can make that happen next year, though. That would be a lot of fun for the kids, I think. Given the right precautions taken, like I said, maybe some noise canceling headphones for Connor and whatnot. But I think, I think I'm sort of out of things to talk about for tonight, and we've been going for a while. I kind of have a bit of a headache coming on. I think I haven't maybe been drinking enough water today, or it could just sort of be a leftover from like the crazy amounts of stress I've been feeling in the past week in particular. Again, I'm in a much, 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 much better place now. So thank you again to everyone that has reached out, even if I didn't respond to your message, checking in on me. I want you to know how much I appreciate you and appreciate that. It really, really means the world to me, and I hope you know that I appreciate you, and if I didn't have the chance to respond, I'm going to be playing some catch up. So maybe you'll even have a response from me tonight before you see this video go up in the morning. A really quick plug, by the way, I meant to mention this earlier. That's okay. It's the beginning of the month, which means that it's a good time to sign up for Patreon if that is your kind of thing. I do have a Patreon, and it's just, if you're not familiar with it, it's a service. It's set up kind of like a subscription service where you're able to support my channel in an additional financial way. Additional because you already support my channel just by watching my videos. But this is a way where you can give a little bit more support that also just, it goes right back into my channel. But more importantly, with this sort of outlet, I've been able to really get to connect with many of you, and I've been sharing a lot of behind the scenes, a little bit more about what's going on in my personal life. The top 2 tiers get a weekly vlog from me that I've really enjoyed getting to share over there. And then we just last week had I do a monthly live that's exclusive to the top tier, the Diamonds and Washi tier. There's absolutely never any obligation to take part in any of these sorts of services, but if you do want to see some extra behind the scenes content from me, get to hear more about what's going on in my personal life, and I get to know you a little bit better as well, please feel free to check out my Patreon. It is linked below in the description. The reason that I bring it up now at the beginning of the month specifically is because of the way that Patreon works. It is always going to bill you on the first of the month, no matter when you sign up. So if you sign up today, it would charge you today and then again on August 1st. On the other hand, if you sign up on July 29th, it's going to charge you the full amount on July 29th and then again the full amount on August 1st. That's my understanding of it anyway. And I just, that's why I don't feel good about talking about my Patreon towards the end of the month. But yeah, feel free to check that out if that sounds like something you'd be interested in. I'd of course love to have you, but again, just you watching my videos and being a part of my community here, that is all I would ever imagine asking for. And I appreciate that more than you could possibly know. So anyway, let's see. If you made it all the way to the end of this WIP and Chat, why don't you leave an emoji that is somehow beach related? Well, there's like a beach ball, beach umbrella, the ocean, something beach related, because I'm going to be spending some time on the beach this week when my in-laws get in town, and I am looking forward to that. I wonder if Micah is going to love or hate the sand. I don't know. Last year he was not a fan at all. It was really funny. Oh no, he was fine. It was Connor. Connor didn't even want to go down to the beach. He just wanted to hang at Grandma and Grandpa's, the beach house that they rented. I was like, you're a kid after my own heart. I'm actually not a huge fan of the beach and getting dirty and baking in the sun. I'm grumpy. I'm not why am I living in California? I don't like the beach. What can I say? I like what I like. Anyway, let me know how you've been doing, how your week has been, any fun summer plans that you have coming up, what project you were working on while we chatted and hung out tonight. I always love hearing about what you guys have been working on, but I'll go ahead and let you go. If you enjoyed this video, please give a thumbs up before you head on out and go about your day. And if you're not already subscribed, please consider subscribing. I'd love to have you here. And leave any questions, comments, concerns, answers to all of the things that I talked about down below in the comments. But thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. I really enjoyed getting to catch up with you. I'm glad that I feel like I'm in a much better headspace and able to engage with and just share with you guys. Thank you for being here and for just putting up with kind of the ups and downs that I've been going through lately. So anyway, have a really, really wonderful start to your week, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye.